back to round 2 of the MTGPL Legacy Fight Night, Pre-Innistrad Night. My name is Beyond Sadistic. With me tonight is Dr. Leo. Doc, are you ready for round 2?
Interesting one here because this is the first matchup we're playing with a modern day banned card, in the fact that Prez is on Moat, as he calls it, Moat control, which is basically just countertop.
Yes.
So, it's running the full gambit of four Sensei's Divining Top, four counterbalance, Jace the Mind Sculptor's your finisher, or Venser or Shaper Savant, or Vendilion Click. Three Vendilion Click in the main.
I
You
know.
don't see that anymore in Legacy. It
No,
makes me happy.
I know. Go ahead. I just want to see your hand, and then you can draw a card. But I just want to take yours. I just want to take stuff.
I just want to take the best card, and I'm going to do it on your draw step so I can get complete information.
Yeah, absolutely. That and the fact that
Yeah.
he's on Moat with Vendilion Click, plus he's on Sensei's Divining Top. I think this is going to be a really brutal matchup for Verdant.
Yeah, and so Verdant is on what he's calling Bug America, which Team America was just like the Jeskai good stuff of the day.
Yeah.
Hey, and so this is just the bug version of it. So we got like four Dark Confident, one Scavenging Ooze, four or Tarmogoyfs, one Vidillion Click, two JTMS, and we got Thoughtseize, and we got one Diabolic Edict in the main. Go for the throw, him to Turok, Dismember. Oh, this is just a list of things that I love combined in a bug package. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is my kind of deck.
Yeah, absolutely. This is gonna be all the good blue stuff with all the black discard with
Yeah.
Bob with Tarmogoyf. This is gonna be basically bug Jund in essence.
Yes, it is Bug Jund,
Yep.
and I mean, for him to Turok, it's so good to see that card again. I mean, I love him to Turok. I've always loved playing it. Even when I was playing on Nick Fit, I loved playing it at least as a two or a three of. The card is so much fun to slam. But I mean, in modern days, I mean, it just feels really bad when you tap out on turn two and you get veiled.
Right, right. And it looks like Prez leads off with a Scalding Tarn. Verdant is gonna crack a fetch, go get a Bayou. He's already got an Underground Sea. He played a Ponder on turn one. Pretty standardized turn one there.
Yeah. This seems like this is going to be a battle of card advantage.
And there's gonna be
That's what
the
it's
him to
going to come
Turok.
down to.
And that
Yeah.
it really is because Verdant is going to be pushing the discard with the card advantage that Bob gives, and Prez is going to be I'm going to fight over every single thing. And there's a Spell Snare. That's another great card to have right
Oh.
now because him to Torok is exactly what Spell Snare wants to be countering.
Yeah, exactly. This is the reason why you put Spell Snare into the deck. And so as Sayonara and also Jordan, Mr. Jack Dax said, actually traditionally Team America was a
Bug
bug delver
deck,
list.
correct. Well, not
Yeah.
Delver, but
No. Team America, aka Bug Delver, is fundamentally an aggro control deck.
right,
It was the original blue, one of the original blue-based tempo decks using black green X mid range, especially things like Dark Confidant.
right. So this is the
Oh,
original version of what Canadian Threshold basically, in essence, is. It's like a
yeah,
Delver style aggro control deck with all the good stuff.
yeah. Okay, so I had no idea that Team America. I always thought that Team America was Jeskai, but turns out that is just. I mean,
I know
Team
there's a
America
very
seems.
popular version. I know there was a very big Jeskai version also.
Okay, yeah. Uh, Okay, yeah, and it looks like it's from Europe. Thank you, Sayonara and Mr. Jack Dax, for hitting up the history of the deck for us.
And
Thank you for educating.
and while that was going on, there was a hymn to Torok, which got spell snared, which got dazed, which then got forced. So a little bit of
Oh
fighting
wow.
over that hymn to Torok there.
Oh well, sorry about missing that. But yeah, this is a crazy deck, and I love this matchup. So we got basically Bug versus just old school blue white.
And
So
there's
this
a
is a very
counterbalance.
oh okay. So for most decks, the number one CMC that you want on there is on one. But from
Right.
what it looks like with this Bug Team America, so the Team America decks, two is where you're gonna want it. Two cuts off cuts off all of their threats except for Vendilion Click.
Right. Ooh.
And
And there's Bob's going to get countered by a counterbalance on top.
yep,
So
yep.
Prez is going to have a second one. Granted, it's not going to do much good.
Oh, Sayonara. It was a joke. It was the deck used cards that they were not popular in America. That's hilarious.
Which is funny
Thank you, Sayonara.
because that what is in here is extremely popular now.
Oh yeah,
Looks like Prez is going to play a Caracas. Pass.
yeah. Ugh. Okay, now we're back to the old days. Okay, playing the guessing game of where to what CMC you should cast, and
Right.
hoping that they don't have a brainstorm in addition.
There's a Goyf.
There's a Goyf
Counterbalance trigger.
counterbalance trigger on the stack.
And Goyf's
Scalding
going to
Tarn.
may resolve now.
Okay. Yeah, like I was saying, every one of their threats is on two, except for the one of Vendilion Click and the two JT Mass. So like,
Which makes it extremely efficient,
oh yeah,
especially with Bob. But
oh
just like
yeah,
Jund, it works very, very similar, which is one of the things that makes Jund such a grindy, such a good. It just grinds out every bit of advantage that you.
yeah. And comical flop, yeah, that is true. It is a May trigger to resolve, and in regards to that, it might just be a bit of a mistake, or Prez doesn't know that it might be a May trigger.
That or he
So
may not have cared to show him either.
yeah,
Although I don't think I would have wanted to show him that I was at a fetch, but
yeah. And it looks like with the fetch on the stack, Verdant is wastelanding the Caracas.
which makes sense. I would too.
Yeah, especially because the fact that Caracas can be abused on both sides because of the fact that they both have Vendilion Click, and it can be really abused by Prez using the Venser as basically a 4 mana always up counter spell. Well, 5 mana if you include the Caracas. I've
Right.
done that before, and it is brutal. You just end people. If you have an active JTMS on the board, it's game over. And speaking of the devil, here he is,
There's
the
Jace,
best blue planeswalker.
and he's gonna bounce Tarmogoyf.
Yep. And this was the part that when people were first talking about with Jason the Mind Sculptor. Oh, does Perez have to dip out?
Oh, that's all right. We'll keep going.
Oh no, he's good. Good. But when people were talking about Jace the Mind Sculptor, originally people were just like, I don't know. Being able to also unsummon your creature and brainstorm all on one card. I mean,
Right. That's a.
it used
It's a toolbox. I
Oh yeah,
mean,
it's a complete toolbox. I
yeah,
mean,
he was a control toolbox.
the card wins the game by itself. It draws you all the cards. It gets rid of their problem creatures. If you're able to survive a Merit Lage hit, it can kill Merit Lages or anything else like that. But now they just have a 3 mana version
All right.
that does everything and is also like pretty much unkillable.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna flip a force of will and
Yep.
brainstorm.
Yep.
More than likely, I would assume put a couple two CMC spells if he's got them on top of his deck.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Although I don't, other than counterbalance, what else does he really have that's 2 mana?
He's got a one of Enlightened Tutor. That's really cool. Counterspell.
Oh, true,
One of Yeah, one of Counterspell. Oh, one of Sword of the Meek.
true.
Oh,
Thopter
oh my
Founder,
gosh. He's running the Thopter Sword combo. I didn't
of
even see
course.
that.
Well, that's the big control win right there.
Yeah. One of Humility, one of Moat. Oh, two of Moat. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. The Thopters do get past the Moat.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's entirely possible Prez just lets this resolve and just goes, ha, Moat. At that point, Verdant's win condition comes down to Vendilion Click and Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Right. Which Jace battle,
Oh,
that would be great.
oh yeah.
It looks like Prez is finally gonna put his two cards on top, and there comes the Wrath of God.
Yep, one of Wrath of God in deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is before Supreme Verdict even.
Right. And this is a good time to mention too. I mean, Pre-Innistrad Legacy is just one of the many things that people do on the Discord. Granted, we are a paper legacy Discord. There are games of legacy going on all the time with over 1,400 members now. But
Yeah.
pre-modern on our FNMs, we do pre-modern, we do Pre-Innistrad Legacy, we do EDH. There's a lot of us are old school players. There's tons of stuff going on. It's pretty much become just a huge community. We are our own meta, and let us be your local meta.
Yeah. Uh, the when it comes to all the events that are available, everything is also free. So there's nothing other than a commitment to play some fun Magic, and our weekend tournaments do actually have prize support. Or even though it's free entry, we offer up brainstorm tokens that are foil and custom art that have
Hmm.
been a part of the hype of the discard. Oh, now we have
Top.
the countertop. Oof. And it looks like Jace is bouncing it, but yeah, we do have prize support as well, and these tokens are when they're gone, they're gone. They're a limited print run.
Hmm.
They're special edition. You can't get anywhere else. You can only get them by winning, and if it's possible to collect an entire playset of them.
Yep. And we do allow proxies, color printings of
Yeah,
any paper printed Magic the Gathering card. So, Legacy is an expensive format. And with everything going on in the world, the last thing we want people to do is feel pressured that they got to spend 2,000 or 1,500 or $3,000 on a deck. Be yourself. Play, proxy up what you want to play it, learn.
yeah,
This is the best time to do it.
yep,
Legacy is hot right
and
now. There's tons of people. Yeah,
yeah,
Jumpstart.
it's
I had to
actually.
mention.
Yeah, we even do Jumpstart. Yeah, so it's actually crazy because there's such a boom in Legacy.
Mhm.
Hey, recently because there was a virtual Eternal weekend as well, and there was a bunch of big events that have really they opened up MTGO for just like, all right, if you register for this event, you get a free open account and you
Yeah,
can use any card, and they had record attendance for the number of Diabolic Edict on top of the Jason. They had record attendance for just people who just trying out the format because it's so much fun.
right. Absolutely. And I think Prez is really in a controlling position or a commanding position here. Having
Yeah,
counterbalance with top online with Jace now that he's starting to tick Jace up. I really think that's going to make this very difficult for Verdant to deal
yeah.
with.
And really important here, Prez is capable of doing what I like to call the sensei shuffle, and the fact that he knows the CMC of Verdant's threats. He knows he has Dark Confidant. He knows he has
Armagoyf.
what's it called, Tarmogoyf and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And so all of that's 2 CMC. So I'm betting he's just gonna let the Sword of the Meek just chill on top of his library and always put it second or third down, and then just be able to constantly refine it whenever he needs the counterbalance trigger.
And he's going to
So
counterbalance trigger on the stack, activate
yeah,
Sensei's Divining Top, put his one, and there's a brainstorm.
yep, yeah. He's got the Sensei shuffle going on, and
Yep.
he's just gonna reveal, okay, what do you got? 1, 2, and 3 drops. I got a 1, 2, 3 sitting on top,
And
and I can choose which one to draw.
there's a Scavenging Ooze.
Yep.
Again, do the same thing.
Yeah.
Activate top, flip his card. Now it's
Sword
a
of the
two
Meek.
drop. Yep.
There it is. Yeah, Verdant needs to find his one of Jace the Mind Sculptor or one of or two of Jace the Mind Sculptor, or one of Vendilion Click in order to get through.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
even then, like Prez is just gonna draw so many cards, see so many cards.
Hmm.
There's plus that Jace. Yep, just ticking up.
And now that also gives him the opportunity to see the flow of cards, so he knows what to keep
Hmm.
on the top of his library. Granted, at this point, I think he's probably got a pretty good idea. Prez's legacy knowledge is pretty vast. He's been playing for quite a long time, so he's in like I said again, he's in a very commanding position here. He's just going to ride this out until he's able to draw enough cards off the top of his deck to find his win con outside other than Jace to have a backup just in case something
Oh
does end
yeah.
up dealing with Jace.
Oh yeah, and especially since you just keep up 3, 4 mana, he
Hmm.
can honestly keep up a Vendilion click, keep up a Venser, anything like that. And yep, there's another 2 mana threat
And
in
he
the form.
tells he hasn't put it on the bottom.
Yeah, and even then, I bet you Prez even has like a brainstorm or something like that. So if anything gets put into his hand, he can just put that right back on top as well. We've only seen doesn't look more than have we even yeah, I think we've seen one brainstorm from Prez.
He has cast one, or no, he hasn't even cast a brainstorm.
No, he hasn't.
And
Yep. And
Jace is at 9 now. It's not going to be too much longer. He lets
no,
Verdant have a fetch land.
yeah.
Verdant's got to
This
know at this point that he's just going through the motions. He's going to activate top.
yeah, and Prez is always hitting every one of his land drops, so he just gets accumulate more and more mana.
Yep. And there's Jace. There's a Vendilion Click that's going to
There's
go
a
on the bottom.
Vendilion click. That's 100% going to the bottom.
Yep. But
And
that
oh,
also gives Prez that information. He's got a
I was
3
about
drop.
to say,
Yep.
I was about to say that's the most important part about this Jace. When your opponent doesn't scoop to you taking up on Jace and you have a whole advantage, that is the time to get information. Okay, what sort of threats do you have? What sort of removal do you have? What sort of anything like that? What's your most common fetch land if you just want a Pithing Needle one to get them?
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah,
And there's going to
I
be humility. So anything
yep.
that he does play now is just going to be a 1-1. So Prez is pretty much wearing the boots. This is my win con. And he is going to hard cast a force or
See,
humility.
I wouldn't even show him the humility personally.
Yeah.
You're
This
you're on a Jace that's about to ultimate. You're not. Why give them the information?
I totally agree.
There, there's no reason to. And now you're having a counter war.
When you really don't need to,
Yeah, hell, I would just let this just go.
he's
Okay,
going to spell
thanks. You
pierce it.
used up a force wheel. There's no. Is there any stifles in this deck?
Inverdance? I don't think so.
No, no. One spell snare, two thoughts. 3 days. One diabolic edict. Two go for the throw. I love the fact that go for the throw is a card in this deck.
Absolutely. That's a premium removal spell right there.
Oh yeah. Only thing it didn't hit back in the day is like what Phyrexian Revoker and stuff like that.
Which wasn't something you saw every day.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Oh
mean,
no, you miss
Phyrexian
out on
Revoker is still a great
oh
card to
yeah.
pick off,
Oh yeah.
and it looks like Verdant's going to scoop it up.
Yeah, called
So
that
from Verdant's side, if you're looking at you've pretty much seen the game now.
one.
Verdant's running 2 Flusterstorms, 3 Ghastly Demise, 1 Nile Spellbomb, 2 Spell Pierce, 2 Surgicals, a Loam, a Crozen Grip, 2 Pernicious Deeds, and a Consuming Vapors. I would be willing to put money on the fact that Pernicious Deed is absolutely going in.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So, for those that know me, I love Pernicious Deed. Pernicious Deed is one of my favorite cards. I have an OG signed version. I love the card to death, and in this matchup, it is great. And in this format, it's amazing. This was a premier sweeper back in the day because the only real planeswalkers you'd really come across was Jace the Mind Sculptor. People would only be playing Jace the Mind Sculptor, and if you could sweep out everything else, oh,
Yep.
it was wonderful. And he does have a lot of dead cards in this matchup. Things like Diabolic Edict, Go for the Throw, Dismember. Those are a lot of dead cards that really don't have many targets. So I can see keeping in like one or two of the removal spells, but you got some cards to cut. And I would definitely bring in Flusterstorms for those important matchups.
Counter battles. I think I would actually bring in a Crozen Grip also. The Crozen Grip is a one of. And actually,
Yep.
I think I would bring in Loam as well because of the simple fact that it allows you to get your fetch lands back to continually shuffle your deck. So if they do Jace and they are in that loop, and that allows you to put that card or leave that card on top, you've got a fetch and response or a
hmm
dredge to be able to dump that card actually into your graveyard. No, I'll actually control my own fate. I'll draw what I want off the top of my library. You're not going to allow me. You're not going to
I
force me to draw that.
100% agree because of the fact that that was my sneaky card to bring in as well. I
Right.
love the card. I think it's a great one of in the sideboard. Also, it gives you more looks at for more things. So being able to get your fetch lands, being able to rebuy anything, I really really like the one of life from the loam. And you do have some spots that you can cut here.
Yes.
When it comes to Prez's deck though, we got 2 Flusterstorms, 2
hmm
Pithing Needles, 2 Pyroblast, 3 Surgical Extraction, 2 Swords of Plowshares, 1 Back to Basics, 1 Oblivion Ring, and 2 Submerge. What do you like here?
Honestly, Prez's deck functioned extremely well in what it was at. Um, the greedy mana base that he saw from Bug, there wasn't a whole lot of basics. I think I would bring back to basics just as another way to control your opponent, slow him down. Um,
Yeah, we have.
Submerge is probably an okay one to bring in, but honestly, he's so good at controlling the board that I don't know if I you really need to. I think, I mean, he saw no flying creatures. Moat is was most definitely going to come in. I don't think I'd bring surgical. I really don't care, that you're playing a Bob and you're playing a Tarmogoyf and all that stuff when I can just bounce it back to your hand. Um,
You can bounce it. You have humility. You have moat. You have a bunch of different things that don't really care about Tarmogoyf.
he
And
did see
honestly,
the one Vendilion click though.
the one Vendilion click he did see, which he has removal spells for that. So he has two Swords of
Correct.
Plowshares. I do like bringing in the other two Swords of Plowshares. This is a creature matchup.
Hmm.
One for one removal is always good.
Right.
I really like the back to basics. I also really like the two of Submerge, even as just
Yes.
a one of, simply because it's a free way of getting rid of a Tarmogoyf. It's a free way of getting rid of a Bob, anything like that.
Well,
Uh,
you can submerge, bounce it back, and then counter it on the way back down,
mm,
or you can. I mean, it puts it on top of the library. You could also get rid of it with Jace as well. I mean,
yeah,
he that's another thing he could do. Or in response to them fetching, submerge and put their creature
Submerge.
on top, shuffle it away.
That's an old trick, yeah. And Malfi pointing out that you could face seal it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Malfi, hey, you did put up a great show, dude. We were cheering
Yes.
for you. That was a lot of fun. You were this close. You were this close. You almost had it. You top decked the Emrakul. But yeah, I honestly think that bringing in the back to basics though, to just punish it, because Team America doesn't have any like in ramp. It's not like the bug days now, bug decks
Well,
nowadays
it's
that
not
are
a Nick
running.
Fit deck, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, not Nick Fit, but
Or
like
Uro.
bugs that are ramping using like Gilded Goose, Noble Hierarch, stuff like that. Like
Sure.
Noble Bug was a deck archetype for a
Oh,
long
absolutely.
time
Absolutely.
be- because you can take advantage of that. But Verdant does have the advantage of hand disruption here, as we see in this turn one Thoughtseize.
There with the Thopter Sword combo in his hand with Moat. Now, this is the
Oh,
first Moat that he's actually going to see as well.
yeah, I think he has to take the moat as well, simply because of the
I
fact
think he
that
takes part of the combo. Absolutely.
uh, really, I
Absolutely.
think he can beat the combo, but I don't think he can beat the moat.
If he's got Crozen Grip, he can beat the Moat.
True,
If
true.
he's got a counterspell, he can beat the Moat.
Yeah, and I think this is the first real piece of the combo that you've seen. Okay, and we see a Bob.
Yeah. This
This
just
is
gives
good.
him. He's not going to force Bob. He's at this point
Yeah.
that, and
Well,
I
the
don't think
force
he couldn't
pitches.
anyway. He had
Yeah,
nothing
I
to
was about to
pitch
say
to
because he
force.
took the Thopters. So taking the Thopter sword was correct there in the fact that it also turned off of his force.
Yep.
Okay. Do we see an island or a tundra? Okay, we see an island. What do we got for 2 mana?
He's going to pass. Hmm.
Why did he fetch there?
Well, probably for a spell snare, maybe.
Oh,
I don't. I think he probably had something in mind and then decided to switch. The
yeah. I
deck
was
on the
wondering why.
right is Bug America. So
Yeah.
it's like a bug version of Jund, in essence. A Salte
Mm,
mid range, also. Yeah, Salte mid range would be a great one. Standard or historic right now is running. Salte mid range is a fantastic deck. It would be historic's version or standard's version of that, basically.
yeah,
Yeah, I do
exactly.
agree with you on that. I think I can. I think I can actually change the color. Nope, I actually can't.
Can you bold it?
I can move it.
That works as well.
I can move that there too.
Yeah.
So Bob, I didn't see what he revealed off the
Ooh,
top. It had to have been a 1 mana spell though.
yeah. I think it was only.
And there's your spell snare. So he did have a spell snare, and
He
that's
did
why.
have the spell snare. Yeah. Yeah, that spell snare is gonna do work here. Only a one of in the deck though, and so far it's worked every single time off of a on the Hymnaturok spell snare, the original Veil of Summer.
The original Veil of Summer.
The original Veil of Summer. And we see a Sword of the Meek here. So combo piece 1 is on the board.
Mm-hmm. And he does reveal him to
And you just
Torok.
reveal him. Oh, I am 100% slamming him here.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely
Oh, yeah.
agree.
Oh, two cards in hand? Oh, 100%.
Yep.
So it looks like Verdant, is he down to 14? Yeah, I think he's down to 14. Off of that him reveal. And we have
Jace. And there's Force
Jace,
Pissing
a force
Forge.
pitching force, and
Mm-hmm.
a force pitching Daze.
Interesting. Got
Yeah, I would have probably just Dazed there because he didn't have any mana open. Oh,
yeah,
it might be that was the only blue card available in his hand.
that is true also. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like Verdant is
At the same time too, you're also 1 mana away from hardcasting Force. I think I would have dazed also.
yeah.
Although
I,
if your opponent, he does still have an island too. So I guess yeah. Because he could have had a daze in response.
yeah.
There's a lot of too many
Yeah.
possibilities.
Though it does not look like there's no days in Prez's deck. So I think that was probably the last blue card, and
Mm-hmm.
he was saving that for another one.
Right.
Got a blue card. To pair with the Force too. Yeah, Lunal, I agree with that. But if he didn't have a second blue card to pitch to Force, and he dazed, and then he just went okay, Force again, or if he was playing around the days, then he's now out without having.
There's a
Yeah.
Thoughtseize, so he's going to top in response. And the nice thing with
Yep.
top, he can actually put something on top, draw it with the top by putting the top on top of his library, and
Yeah.
actually counter that Thoughtseize.
Entirely possible. Oh, here we go. Looks like he's gonna draw.
And there's a Force Pitching Vendilion Click.
Force
So
pitching Vendilion.
that's the first Vendilion Click that Prez has actually revealed to Verdant here also.
Yeah. So it looks like he didn't shave on any of them post board, and that is a really important issue because that means that Verdant has to put a clock on him. Otherwise, Prez will put a clock on him.
Well, he has the opportunity here to actually Fate Seal that top away.
Oh yeah, because Jace hasn't been activated yet.
He did. He brainstormed with him.
Oh, he did.
But I think that was last turn that he actually played him. But I don't know if he's activated him this turn or not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And it looks like Dark Confidence getting frisky.
I would too.
Oh, oh, looks like he just brainstormed with
Yeah,
Jace.
which maybe he doesn't care
Nice.
if he has the top.
Yeah, understandable. Crows and Grip, interestingly, can kill the top.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Huh? It's one of the few cards that can actually kill the top. And
There's a Pernicious
yes,
Deed.
there's the Deed. I am happy to see that. Deed is also an answer to the infinite combo that is the Thopter Sword.
And your Jace lives through that as well.
And your Jace lives through that. It
You
does not
do
hit
lose your Bob
Planeswalkers.
though.
You lose your Bob, but when you have an active Jace out, but Bob is your clock.
True.
But I mean, you don't even really have to activate it now. You could just let it sit on the board and then dare Prez to commit more to the board. You have a threat. You have an active Jace. Like you're forcing Prez to play your game now. Yeah, Malfi, Dirty Deeds. I love this card. I think I've blown up a few of your stuff too as well, Malfi, with it.
Looks
There's
like he's gonna brainstorm again.
nothing that feels better than activating a deed for 0 and blowing up like tokens, Chalice of the Void, and all those sorts of stuff.
Prez looking like he's not in a very good position here. 1 land, top and sword. He's getting beat in the face by Bob. And with Jace online for this is the 4th turn that he's been able to brainstorm with him. That's quite a bit of value that he's able to get, and actually able to completely control the amount of life that he loses to Bob as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to bring up is the fact that since he is constantly brainstorming, he can always reduce the life loss to a Dark Confidant.
Yeah, I think Prez is with bearing any kind of huge uncontrollable thing with a pernicious deed online, Bob and Jace. I really think Prez is out of this game.
Yeah, there is one possibility, and that's when it comes to Moat. But as you can see, Prez has been hard pressed for land drops.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a while until he's able to cast Moat. By then, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure
No,
Bob will finish him off. And there is no Emrakul in the deck.
no. Did you update Cardboard Live with
It should be.
Should be. Let's see. Oh, okay, Malfi. That's the reason why you're asking if he had Emrakul, because
I don't think
yeah.
if I had Emrakul in a deck, I would have Dark Confidant and this on the
Uh,
board.
that
That's
being
just me.
said, look up on YouTube. There's a YouTube series. It's a Magic interview series at a GP, and it's Bob flipping over like things like what's my call it Blightsteel Colossus in Vintage
That's got to be rough.
for tanker targets.
Hmm,
And it's played to the like depressing, sad music of flipping over big targets and just killing themselves.
That's
It's
ridiculous.
so funny. It's so funny.
I have seen some pretty ridiculous stuff flipped from Bob. Also, it
Oh
makes you just
yeah.
wonder, like, why, you know. But usually, you want to have a way to control the top of your deck, which he does with
Oof.
Chase. There's a Tarmogoyf.
There's the clock, and Prez knows. Well, Verdant knows exactly what's in Prez's hand, and yeah, this might be GG since we got the real clock on the board now.
Absolutely,
Goif is probably what five. I see instant sorcery land. I don't know if there's a creature.
it
I
looks like
think
he's
it's an
gonna.
artifact.
Is he activating top?
I think he's activating top with the floating mana that was off of the Caracas.
Okay.
Yeah. He might be top locked.
Yeah, without a fetch, he hasn't seen anything in quite a while.
Yeah, I don't think
I mean, he's
he's
drawn
has
that.
he seen a single fetch.
No, and he's drawn Caracas. That's his second Caracas, also.
Yeah. Now Vern is able to ponder.
All right.
Oh man, this is brutal. And of course, just sitting on the field is that deed just waiting.
You say it's brutal, but this is exactly what Verdant's deck wants to be.
Oh yeah, one hundred
Absolutely.
percent.
I mean, this is like Mr. Jack Deck said. This is greatness at any cost. This is exactly what I want to be doing with this deck. It's the same thing as what Prez was doing last game. Control the board. I've got counter. I've got top or counterbalance. I've got top, and I'm just gonna sit here and not let you do anything. This is
Yeah,
Bob. I'm going to draw lands off the top of my deck. I'm going to hit a land drop every turn. I'm going to build up my graveyard, and I'm going to make you discard and wasteland your threats. I've got Pernicious Deed, and Jace is going to make sure that I'm able to do this every turn, and I get to watch you.
I love this deck on like multiple levels.
Oh,
Th-
this is a U deck.
This is everything I want to be doing in Legacy.
Absolutely, and I think that a lot of people share that sentiment. This is what
Yeah.
power feels like.
Oh
Granted,
yeah.
Emrakul on turn 2 is powerful, or turn, but this is also power. This is control.
This this is when so this was interesting. This was the tempo before tempo.
Yeah,
This
well,
was I mean, instead of the threats being Goif and Terravor and stuff like that, it's Delver.
well, you got to
There.
remember too. This is tempo, like blue green madness, way back in the day, pre-modern. I mean, that's tempo. That,
Oh
but
yeah.
that plays similar things. Submerge was a big part of that. And, other ways to be able to control the top. Plus, you're discarding to be able to put your cards in the graveyard because they're safer there, and then play them later on while being able to get in with your threats. But this is a very much a grindy mid range control. This is a fantastic deck. Yeah,
Oh yeah. I love this. This is everything. It's got bayous, underground seas, and tropical islands. I'm in.
yeah,
That
that's you.
this is everything I want to do in Legacy. It plays Hymn to Turok, and it plays Thoughtseize, and it plays Force of Will and Goyf.
And
Yes,
days.
I'm in. And day
Now it
and
just
this.
needs stifle. If it had some stifles,
Oh yeah.
maybe a veteran
Uh,
explorer, just one.
just one. Hey, you talk shit, but I've heard that like in Pre-Innistrad, Nick Fit is actually like a deck.
Well, oh,
And
absolutely. I
yeah,
mean, it allows you to do great, really great thing. It's very similar to this in vein. You just are
yeah,
ramping to do these
yeah.
things.
Yeah, exactly. And even so, more so in previous, because in Pre-Innistrad, like how as we've seen this entire time, the only deck that's been running any significant amount of basics has been this Moat control list, and that's running 2 planes, 4 islands, and that's like nothing in comparison to modern days, where in modern days I think most 4 color, 5 color decks are running 6 to 8 basics,
Well, that's because we're running
and
Astrolabe.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So in these days, people had to fetch for dual lands to color fix,
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
because of that, they would probably get maybe 1 or 2 lands off of Veteran Explorer. But that second time you flash back Cabal Therapy off of Veteran Explorer, they're not getting anything.
Right. And that's
And
exactly how you control. That's your form of tempo. That's dark. That's blue or black green tempo, basically.
okay, this is okay. I'm already looking into Nick Fit lists. Let's see if we can find something.
Looks like Prez is going to be on the play while Doc drools. Hopefully, he doesn't short out his keyboard. My name is Beyond Sadistic. That is Dr. Leo drooling all over his keyboard, looking at Pre-Innistrad,
Oh
Nickfit
yeah,
decklist. We are the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. This is our Legacy Fight Night. Welcome. Thank you for coming along with us.
yeah.
Pre-Innistrad Legacy. This is some exciting stuff. You know, this is where I said it before. I'll say it again. This is the sweet spot of where
Oh,
everybody was about legacy.
I found a source thread. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
it's on.
Oh, we're going on a deep dive.
The rabbit hole has been entered.
Oh yeah. This is about like 4 to 5 years. Oh yeah. I'm still scrolling. Yeah.
The source is such
This.
a good place. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
I've
Oh.
spent so much time on the source. There were, I think, at least probably 6 years before I even made an account. Looks
Oh
like
yeah.
that's turn one top answered by a force pitching Vendilion click.
Oh yeah. You
There's a
have to.
force pitching Jace. Let's
Oh, here
just
we
pitch
go.
our
Force
let's
battle.
force battle with our win conditions.
Oh man. Verdant. Well, now Prez doesn't have to worry about the one Vendilion click because that's gone.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna go on a deep dive on this later. Later.
Later. Yeah. When you can spend some alone time
Oh, maybe.
in
Don't
the
judge
dark.
me. there's there's few things that feel better than flashing back ball therapy off of Veteran Explorer and your opponent going decline to search. It's just sweet
Actually,
music to my ears.
there there's one, and that's Berserk.
Oh,
After you've invigorated on a Glistener
okay,
Elf.
okay. I will agree. I will agree. That feels pretty freaking good.
That is pretty good. Yeah.
I've dabbled with the infect. I've dabbled around, and don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's so much fun. But I think I play it like a combo deck, and that is incorrect, as I have learned.
It,
You play it like a tempo deck.
you do. Yes. You fight over the stuff that you can't beat, and you just pray they don't have a bolt.
Yep,
Although you don't have to worry about Fatal Push in Pre-Innistrad.
that's true. You don't have to worry about a lot of these like important removal pieces that
Well,
have really been printed.
that's what Gitaxian Probe is for.
It's true because the one thing you had to be worried about back then was mostly Force of Will and
Mm-hmm.
Red Elemental Blast,
Oh yeah.
or yeah, like there wasn't a lot of
Wasteland.
ones. Wasteland. Wasteland was also really big because of the Inkmoth Nexus.
Well, and also one thing to take into account too, you even mentioned it. These bases are greedy. I mean, they
Yes,
are super greedy for good reason. But this is exactly why Wasteland was such a good card for so
yes.
long.
Wasteland kept the meta in check because of the fact that it was able to check these 3, 4 or color decks,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the problem when we got to. So the example I use about that is always Deathrite Shaman.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Deathrite Shaman allowed you to fix your mana at minimal cost, and it can be slotted into any deck. And that's what allowed for 4 and 5 color monstrosities, much like what we see in modern times.
Yep, I agree.
So, oh, like it's one of those things that when Wasteland stops being a viable tool in the meta, that's when the meta starts having issues.
Old school counterspell just got put on the
Yeah,
stack.
and to be fair, this is the best way you want to answer a him. You want one for one. And you don't want a him to resolve and you be down two.
Right.
But answering one for one, that's fine.
Yep.
If your him gets it's forced, you've already accomplished the job.
Yeah, you 2 for
Okay.
1 to your opponent basically. Your
Yeah.
him resolved.
Yeah. My him resolved. I am okay if you force my him.
Yep.
So.
That's why Spell
And
Snare in this Mo Control deck is such a great card for them.
oh yeah. And as we've already seen two different decks, and they both been running Spell Snare. It
Mm-hmm.
was important. 2 mana threats were so important in Legacy because getting to 3 mana was never guaranteed.
Right.
And this is where we were seeing that a lot in this pre-Innistrad Legacy. That you couldn't seriously be wastelanded. I mean, look at last game with Prez. He was
Right.
on 1 to 2 mana the entire time because he had non-basics, and Verdant had the answer in Wastelands.
Right. And Malfi brings up a very good point. What if you misdirect him? That is very, very true.
That is true. That's a 3 for 2 because misdirect requires a pitch as well, and you're still losing. Ugh. If that feels really bad.
I think we're gonna see a Bob. Yep.
Yep. The card draw engine. Greatness at any cost.
That's right. And he's gonna swords Bob right now.
Oh yeah. You have to.
I think both players really are really in a good spot right now.
Yeah,
Hands have
it's
got plenty of
very even.
cards. There's a back to basics. They're
Oh,
gonna fight over this. I guarantee it.
there's gonna be a fight.
Yep, he's gonna either fetch in response because he has no answer, or there's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fight. Really important here in this matchup. Bug America does not have any days. Oh, it does have 3
It does
days.
have
So
dazes.
So since it does have days, it can reset some of these lands that are already tapped, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a really important thing because even if the back to basics ends up resolving, you can end up with 1 to 2 mana back if you had 1 or 2 dazes.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And it looks like back to
Oh,
basics is going to resolve.
oh, oh! This is bad. This is really bad. Oh, oh well, the day strict still does work,
Yeah. Oh,
but you
absolutely.
would
Because you can still pick up your underground sea or your tropical island.
yeah, but still, that feels really bad.
Yeah. Well, and
Yes, you're.
that's why that card is so good. Granted, it's
Mhm,
not as good now, but
mhm.
I mean, it still does a great job
What are
now.
you talking about? These 4 and 5 color decks run it in the main.
Well, they run it in the main because they're running basics, bud.
Yeah, like to punish Delver. That's the only deck that doesn't run non-basics.
Well, Blue Red Delver
Oh, oh,
runs quite a few.
oh, blue red Delver, but Rug Delver, I don't think runs a single basic.
Well,
I don't
they
know.
also they also want to be casting Oko as when
Yeah,
on time and
yeah,
casting everything
exactly.
else on time.
Yeah. Though that being said, there is Rug runs none, Bug runs none, Grixis runs none. Yeah, thank you, Malfi.
They do run
I am
Wasteland, however. Wasteland is
yes,
important. And I have seen Rug run one island for
yeah,
so just like or Wookiee just said that as well.
yeah. Yeah, but overall the meta is very not very basic heavy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you aren't punished for it. You really aren't. With Astrolabe, it allows you to play your basics and allows you to draw cards and allows you to fix your mana.
Yeah. Sorry, girlfriend just got home.
No, that's fine. Looks like Verdant's gonna play a Ponder and it's gonna resolve. He needs to find some mana though, because that back to basics has done him dirty.
Oh yeah, that's that back to basic is gonna really hurt
Yep.
her for a while, and Verdant only running once again 2 basics in the deck. One
Yeah.
one island, one swamp.
So it's gonna hurt him quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm really hoping he probably brought in the Crows and Grip because
He
oof.
can't cast it.
He can't cast it if he's able to get, because so far we see one underground, one bayou, and one trop. So there's one more bayou, one more trop, and two more underground. So if
I
he's able
guarantee
to get,
you that there has been so much damage that has been done by this right
oh
now
yeah,
that even if he can get rid of it, it's going to be very difficult for him to, because Prez is sitting on untapped mana right now because he can.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And we're seeing the fight here because this enlightened tutor is 100% going to go get the counterbalance. Ooh, but if Prez commits the,
Actually, I'd be willing to bet he goes and gets. Well,
oof, this is okay. Hey, so he knew the top card was Force,
so he
and he
just
was able to
drew it
draw it.
with. Yeah.
Uh, so he was able to draw it off of the top, a Force pitching Force. But
And
at the
that ran
same,
him hellbent also.
yeah, that's Hellbent, and you're also shuffling away your other lock piece, and we see a second Force pitching Force.
Right. So,
Oof.
so now is Verdant's chance.
Yeah, Verdant actually has a chance here to possibly crawl back because even though the top allows you to see, hey, 3 cards a turn, it's still you're only able to draw one. So
And
we see force pitch daze. Oh, is he dazing to just bring something back?
he's holding priority.
Oh, okay.
Luenel, this allows him to go get Sword of the Meek, Thopter, Thopter Foundry. It allows him to go get Moat. It allows him to get quite a few different things. That then it gives him a shuffle effect too. He may have been at
Oh
the
yeah.
point where he wanted to shuffle from what he's got on top of his deck because he hasn't gotten a fetch land.
Yeah, that is entirely possible as well. And there was a lot of things riding on this enlightened tutor,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean he knew what his next draw was. His next draw is set up, and it's not something that he actually wanted. So, I
No, and like Lunal said, the top was on top of the deck. Why even force? Let it resolve so he shuffles away his top.
mm-hmm.
Which I do agree with, and that's probably really not what he was thinking.
Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Because if your opponent's casting Enlightened Tutor, there's got to be a reason. What are they going to get? What have I
Yeah,
not seen? What have I missed? But you could have fought over that also because it's going to go on top of their deck. You're going to know what it is.
yeah, exactly.
And here's 4 mana. Is this going to be a Jace? There's a Jace.
The Jace, does Verdant have an answer?
Is he going to daze?
You can pay
No.
for no,
He Fate
and it looks
Sealed
like,
himself.
yeah. So I think he really needed to get
He
rid
really
of
wanted to
a.
shuffle.
Yeah, he really wanted to shuffle.
Because Goyf, that and he ticked up to live through Goyf also. Because
Hmm.
Goyf's going to hit Jace.
Oh, 100%. You have to bring it down to, you know, a reasonable. And okay, so we see. I'm guessing that's like an upkeep top, something like that, trying to give him
Yes,
an extra card. Yep.
probably.
Yeah. There we go.
There's a fetch land, so it gives him a shuffle so he can
Yeah.
bounce
And
Goyf.
yep. And that Goyf is uncastable right now since that Tropical
That is
Island is
true.
tapped down under back to basics.
And it will be unless he gets his other Bayou. Because he has no basic forest.
Oh yeah. That's
This has been a heck of a grindy game, too.
yeah. This is actually kind of impressive because of the fact that it's been swinging so much from game to from turn to turn. Fair. We thought the back to basics would have killed off Verdant after he had most of his lands tapped, but being able to claw back as what he did, but that Jace is still it's gotten to brainstorm at least once now.
And he is
Okay, we
going to
see it.
Fate Seal himself, probably.
Yeah, get rid of some of those
Oh, nope.
cards.
There's a him.
Oh,
Put that on them. Well, that and he could leave it in. He could leave it on top. He
I
can't
would have
cast it.
100% left it on top.
Yeah,
I would have
absolutely.
100% left it on top. That is a dead draw.
There's a ponder.
Yeah, see that ponder was drawn completely fresh, and yeah, I would have left that right on top. I think that was a mistake, and
Well, no matter
Oosh,
what he draws, he can't cast it because
yeah,
one of his lands was just blue. So
yeah,
there's a fetch.
and there's a fetch,
Yep.
which I would completely wait on.
I,
This importantly can also find Verdant's other
I would
basic. He
buy
can find his other swamp.
that, or yes, or he could find a Bayou for Crows and Grip,
Yeah,
depending on what he's got
yeah, he
in
needs
his
an extra
hand.
land drop first for that though.
Well, if he's got one in hand, he can fetch for the Bayou, untap the mountain, play his swamp, and then Crows and Grip.
Yep.
But either way, that Jace is on the board, you still have to deal with it. Your opponent's got a top. He's now fate sealing you. Thoughtseize is absolutely going to go to the bottom,
I
or
would
leave it
say
on
Thoughtseize.
top, and then just it forces him to draw that card before he can fetch.
Yeah, I I agree. I think putting the Thoughtseize in the bottom is good though, simply because of the fact that it's also protecting information.
True, I agree.
You're not right now. You've been fate sealing. You've been senses topping, and you have. Looks like Prez has like maybe 3 cards in hand, 2, 3 cards,
Mm-hmm.
and maintaining that like little bit of information. And I think that's well enough because
A
you
little
don't
bit of
know what your
mystery. I
opponent has.
agree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree.
And okay, we see a wasteland here
And there's a Bob.
and Dark Confident. I don't know about casting that off of the wasteland though, unless he has some sort of like permission as well. And we see a spell snare in response.
Yeah,
Does Vern have a daze? Oh no, it looks like a flusterstorm.
yeah.
Storm count 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm. Which Prez cannot pay for. So
Cannot pay.
um,
Let's see.
nope, he's gonna let it go. I would too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not worth fighting over when you can just
Mm,
bounce it with Jace.
yep, exactly. Although he can replay it over and over, but that gets him in
Yeah.
a gonna shuffle off his fetch, which is probably something he needed to do.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say that he really needed that fetch because he's been looking at the same 3 cards for the last 2, 3 turns.
Mm-hmm. And he's gotten quite a nice selection of basics too. It's going to allow him to do a lot with his mana every turn, whereas Verdant's really locked down.
Sorry, Jack. To hear that, dude. I'm tell you the truth. Right after this, I am going right back to work as
and
well.
and there's a
It's
moat
okay.
that makes
Now
you
we
feel
have
dead inside when you've got Bob,
yeah.
because
Seeing that moat resolve just feels real bad.
especially when you get a Bob off of Bob,
Yeah. Oh,
that's
because are
just
you
gotta
gonna?
hurt.
Because now you're realizing, okay, what do I crows and grip? If I'm
Ah,
able to crows and grip, do I crows and grip the moat? Do I crows and grip the back to basics? This is before Snapcaster Mage, so you can't
true,
bring that one back.
true. So he's gonna Fate Seal, and he's gonna leave that on. Probably put it on bottom, wouldn't he? Absolutely.
Yeah, I would put that on bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that gives him one. It gives him a free Bob trigger. 2. Oh, there we go.
There's a
And
ponder.
Ponder taking 1, so he's down to 11. Uh, It gives him access to green mana, which importantly here, uh, there's no green mana that will ever be untapped. And so far we are at one Bayou, one Tropical Island already tapped. That means that this is his last untapped Tropical Island, and he has one more Bayou left in his deck that he can be untapped.
Right.
So I think he has to throw the Crows and Grip at the back to basics simply to unlock something, and then try to just wipe the board with a Pernicious Deed. Don't commit more to the board. Try to survive your Bob triggers, or if you do commit to the board, it's got to be Jace, and then try and wipe as much as you can with the Pernicious Deed. I would be diving so hard for Pernicious Deed because he needs to be able to activate Pernicious Deed for 2 or 3 to first clear off, well, 3 preferably to get rid of the back to basics, 4 to get rid of the moat.
It looks like he did miss the draw, but he hadn't reordered cards yet, so.
Okay.
So this will be the big. He does keep off the ponder,
Yeah.
but
Let's see
he's
what
just
he's
going to
got.
hold up here leave his 2 mana up. And honestly, this allows him to keep stuff on top, or that did anyway, for Prez to Fate Seal it to the bottom. So it helps him get to what he wants to first. Plus, he's got to take Bob into account. He's getting 3 cards per turn
Yeah.
here, too. So
He's getting 3 cards per turn, but at the same time, Prez has Verdant on a 2, 3, so a 4-turn clock with the Jace. Not a fast clock. That's a 4-turn clock.
yeah, and
6,
this,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no, it's a 3-turn clock. 3-turn clock.
yeah, but this is 2 different decks doing their thing extremely well. Back to Basics really put a wrench in Verdant's plan here.
Oh yeah. If it weren't for that back to basics, it looked like Verdant could have taken this game.
Yeah.
But this is what I was saying is like it's just that little bit of tempo play that's off.
Look at that. He put a fetch line on top.
And I think Prez has to put it to the bottom.
No, he leaves it on
Oh, he
top.
keeps it on top.
Well,
That's the
that'll.
second green source.
Yeah, true. Well, he still has. He is going to get that those 2 off of Bob, and then he's going to draw,
And did
and
he
then
draw
he's
for
going to
turn?
draw. There we go.
There we go. But yeah, like I probably would also put it to the bottom just because it's also is a higher chance that it hits him for damage because honestly right now Bob is also as fast as a win condition as Jace the Mind Sculptor.
Right. That is true. The clocks are very, 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 very close.
Yeah. So I probably would have bottomed that, but like either way, I think right now he's Prez is more afraid of the possibility of any sort of answer. Now, of course, this is before abrupt decay, so no abrupt decay. That's why we had the Crows and Grip. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to. I think the only answer is going to be Crows and Grip
And
the entire 75.
there's his J. So he's going to
Or
top it.
Pernicious Steed.
He's going to top and respond.
Oh yeah, you have to. You cannot let this resolve.
He's going to tap, top, draw the card, top on top. Now
Yeah.
this gives him the space. He's going to Spell Pierce, and that's pretty
Yep.
much that's going to end that whole thing. I'm pretty sure Verdant is at the point now where, granted, he does have one more fetch land, but
Yeah, he's out of green. Well, no, he has one Bayou left in the deck.
Brainstorm. He's going to throw that on the bottom.
Yeah, you can't let him have a cantrip.
Yep. I think this is our last 2 turns of the game here.
Yeah. Because Jace Ultimate's on 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a brainstorm in hand.
Had
He's
a brainstorm.
brainstorming on upkeep.
Is he brainstorming in response to the Bob triggers?
Yeah.
Wow. Is he
Oh,
trying
it's
to?
12. Jace's ultimate is 12.
Oh, it's just. It's...
Yeah, not
Oh
11.
yeah, because it's always one off of.
Yep. So It's one extra turn. Yeah. Bob, 2 fetches. And I think this is pretty much going to be the end of it here.
Yeah, I think. Ugh. Max, he could take. Hey, it's still fetch. I think he could probably take at least one pernicious deed, and still be able. Oh.
Yeah, but he brainstormed during upkeep, so he can't even do anything with Pernicious Deed.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's discarding 2 Goyfs.
Hey, Punt, thank you for the subscription.
Thank you for the subscription. We get to see the cool hoverboard again.
Thank you for the subscription, Punt. Welcome to the team.
So he's forcing.
Pitching Jace.
Yeah, so no counterbalance.
No, it looks like Prez was able to force pitch. Oh, okay, we got
That puts him to.
oh,
Oh, that was a fate seal.
The deed was off of the fate seal. Oh, it feels bad.
That would have been. Yeah, but I still don't think he would have been able to do anything with it. He would have had to have to pop it for 0.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets it's Jace ultimate next turn. It's been a minute since we've seen a Jace ultimate on the stream.
Right? And we appreciate you giving your prime to us, Paul. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Bell Pierce puts him to 7. Him to Torak puts him to 5. Don't forget to draw. Draws a card.
MTG Maelstrom. Thank you for the follow. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate it, dog.
And I think this is pretty much going to be it. He's got a fetch, got 4 mana, and he passes. So Jace is going to ultimate. Bob will.
How many cards do you have in hand?
He's got a lot. He's been discarding, so he's got to have a full grip.
So 2 turns, 3 turns with 2 Bobs going. If we wanted to play that, because usually people scoop towards the Jace ultimate.
Right.
Oh, but if he can get an end of the turn, because he's got the untapped Bayou on the board.
True.
If he can do an end of turn, some sort of shenanigans.
Yeah.
That being said, Perez is at 14. I know. So say you did have the Crows and Grip. What do you Crows and Grip here? The Moat or the Basics?
I think you actually Crows and Grip the Moat.
I'm in agreement. I think you got.
It gives you the best chance. It gives you the best chance of actually fighting your way back.
Yeah. I think you have to Crows and Grip the Moat as well.
But granted, we don't. I don't. He's got a handful of cards too. So if he's able to untap all of his mana, but that's going to be it. He does all.
That looks like it's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going to be round 2. So Prez is going to take that one away with Moat Control.
Yeah, and that was a great game demonstrating really the importance of the micro decisions in Legacy here, because it all came down to that back to basics. That was a great card to slam right when he did, and yeah, it just controlled the entire rest of the game.
Yeah.
But so Prez will be back for next round. He is going to be changing up decks though, and we do have a special announcement though for this. Not this coming week, but the following. Oh wait, no, it's a couple weeks from now, right, Corey?
What you were talking about is the Invitational. Every month we have a league. We have a Saturday weekly challenge. We have the Legacy Fight Nights. Everybody that wins these events gets to accumulate points, and we have an Invitational. So the October Invitational, we will be giving out information on that. So stay tuned. My name is Beyond Sadistic. That is Dr. Leo down there. We are the MTG Paper Legacy Discord. This is Pre-Innistrad Legacy, and we will be right back.